trying to be a parent, but I gotta run an errand. I promise when I'm back, I'ma feed my kid a carrot. Damn, this stuff is tough, man, I thought it was inherent. I'm trying to be a parent, I'm trying to be a parent. Sometimes you gotta drink, cause that shit can be kinda stressful. Sometimes you hit the blunt, cause that green will help you rest, yo. You know your ass be slacking when you gotta look up things on YouTube. Like, bro, how you wipe your baby boo-boo? Now welcome to the podcast, trying to parent and make moms laugh. Who you know got it like the King's family. Amanda and Sean, it's the name G. Yeah. Now welcome to the podcast, trying to parent and make pops laugh. Who you know got it like the King's family. Amanda and Sean, it's the name G.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show. Welcome. Episode
32.
32. And you know what?
Here's the deal, man.
Here's the deal, man. We're pregnant. Here is the deal.
Mom.
Oh, God.
Mom.
Whoa.
One is how a baby is made, and one is how the other kills its mom.
If you guys were interested in what that was that I just played.
What a classic song.
Just an amazing song. I mean, that guy hits the notes. He looks amazing.
He is a character for sure.
He is awesome.
Mark something with a B.
Mark. I always want to say like Mark
Beirut or something, but
Ruffalo or something, but I'm pretty sure that's the Hulk.
I don't know.
Who's the guy that plays the Hulk?
I am awful with names. You should know this.
Yeah, let's be honest. Anyways, guys.
I'm pregnant.
We're pregnant. Well, she's pregnant. That's weird to say, like, we're pregnant. I'm not pregnant. Although I do use the meme a lot of, the emoji of me being pregnant, the guy being pregnant, which is weird that they did that. But
it's all inclusive.
That's neither here nor there. Anyways, welcome to the show. We got a lot to get into, obviously because we're pregnant. But before we do that, let me blow your ears out with the
Let's get social.
Social.
With social media.
That was loud.
I
warned you.
What about blowing your chips out?
I warned you.
Jesus Christ.
The baby heard that one. That was
God.
that loud.
Instagram and Facebook. You guys know where to follow us. It's trying the number 2 parent. And then YouTube, because we're filming every week. Maybe I will stand up and let you guys kind of see my belly progressions. Who knows?
Trying space 2 space parent.
Yep.
And again, now's the time to tune in.
Now's the time to tune in. Please
Now's the time.
give us a good rating. Let us know that you're excited and
Say nice things about Amanda. Tell her how happy you are. All those comments that we just got on social media and everything, just go and drop those in the comments. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts app, we would really, really appreciate that. And if you're a true fan and you've been listening, you heard last week that we took our first caller. It was crazy.
it was really fun.
Everybody enjoyed it.
360-450-5008.
Definitely call. You know what? We're going to start fielding callers here on probably a bi-weekly basis. So,
Because now I actually care about what you have to say.
yeah, there's some real stuff. We had Kat call in last week, our good friend Kat Dolan, and
That was a really good conversation.
yeah, great combo.
Yeah.
A lot of good information. And so she's got some older boys that are about to be 12 and about to be 14. So totally different perspective. We don't know what kind of kid we're having yet, what they'll choose to be. But I mean, could be a boy, could be a girl. So maybe we'll have somebody call in who has girls next time. Got a couple people on the list that are ready to go.
Yes.
Your buddy from Fuck That Shit podcast really wants to call in.
Oh, nice.
I know Chris Allen.
Dre
Shout out.
Day.
Chris, you want to call in? Both of you have girls. So,
Yep.
that
would be a good perspective.
Yep, we'll make this happen. But if you want to call in and chat parenting, chat life, chat your frustrations, hit us up.
On that
Let us
number.
know.
Yep.
Yep. So, do Do we want to tell our kind of pregnancy story real quick, how we got to this point? Because it's been, I mean, we're at episode 32, so we've done 30 previous episodes where we were not pregnant,
And then
and
pregnant,
then pregnant,
and then,
and then not pregnant, and now we're pregnant again. I was really hoping it would end up landing on episode 33 that I could have made the announcement, but didn't want to
man,
wait.
that would have been 13 weeks. So yeah, so tomorrow will be 12 weeks. So it's been a hot minute.
It is Sunday, June 25th.
Oh yeah. So when you hear this, it will be the beginning of my 12th week. Yeah. So obviously we've been trying for a while. So the day of my expected period, I'm constantly taking a test. We were actually in Colombia when we found out.
Like kind of way back. So originally we had gotten pregnant. When did we? You told me right before. I mean, you told me while I was on the couch. I remember this back in Washington.
For the first pregnancy. So I'm actually wearing a duck shirt in memoir.
Yes, in memory, because that was
It was like October
right before
21st or something like that.
Yeah.
October 19th, the 20th, 21st. One of those days is when we found out we were pregnant the first time. We went to the Ducks game last night, so I have my Duck shirt on right now.
Not last night.
Oh, the last time. Sorry.
Yeah. We did not go see
Pregnancy
the Ducks.
brain. It's already kicking in. No, so then we went to, so those of you who have not listened to the previous podcast episodes, so we were in the process of moving from Washington to Arizona to prep to come to Mexico, and none of the doctors would see me before basically 8 weeks, but we were going to be we were already going to be gone from Washington at that point. So I scheduled something at a doctor's office in Arizona, but they were closed almost the 2 weeks before Christmas. So my appointment, I think, was January 4th of this year. And
Yep.
I should have been 11 weeks, 5 days. And that was when the doctor, this was the very first appointment that we had.
First appointment.
Yeah. So we were expecting to hear the heartbeat and everything. And that's when she told us the baby stopped at 7 weeks, 5 days or something.
Yep.
So obviously I went through that whole mess. I had 10 different doctor's appointments, a whole bunch of blood. They gave me the medication to pass the baby because
Whole bunch of blood tests. There wasn't a whole bunch of blood.
Well, there was both. There was a bunch of blood.
Right.
A whole bunch of blood tests because they had told me I had antibodies, and then that I wasn't able to have kids, and that we needed to have a surrogate, or I needed a donor with positive blood. It was this whole mess because the doctor didn't look at the actual blood results before talking to me. She just assumed there's different antibody types. So she thought I had one without double checking and telling me this awful news. Anyway.
So just overall great start. I mean, go from being pregnant to not being pregnant to finding out you guys are going to have some real problems getting pregnant to then finding out it shouldn't be that bad. Roller coaster of emotions at the beginning.
It was awful. And then all this time, that was when we're going through the stuff with the house and the tenant. So that was all very stressful.
Fuck those tenants. Fuck you guys if you're listening.
I still
Don't
think
listen.
about how angry I am at you, but whatever. the tenants, not Sean.
We hate you.
Anyways, so we came down here and
Beginning of February.
Yeah, beginning.
And the doctors had told us afterwards, hey, could happen fairly quickly. Could happen, in the next couple months.
Yep.
So, just keep doing it.
She said to keep taking the Vitex.
Mm-hmm.
She told me to bump that up, so I was doing that. And honestly, about 3 months into Vitex, both times I was able to get pregnant. I don't know if that is just a coincidence. It could have just been the timing of you being off testosterone for a year. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that just, I think, fell perfectly into place because we got pregnant a lot sooner than I was expecting, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was fingers crossed the entire time, but it wasn't totally something that was at the front of our minds because they told us hey, it could take a while.
It took us 11 months last time, so
we were expecting a longer haul.
Yeah.
But I guess that was from February to essentially
April.
Was it April?
We were in Colombia in April.
I mean, I guess we didn't lose the baby in February, but we found out in February.
Yeah. So we would have lost the baby mid to late December.
Yeah. So legit, like 4 months, 2 months after we knew that we lost the baby, we were pregnant again. So
February, March. Really, I had 2 cycles, like 2 real cycles, and then I got pregnant again, which is fascinating.
yeah. So now we had been in the process of going through and finding a doctor that we want to use. There was some, great reviews on people out here, but it was about meeting a couple people and kind of finding out what was the right fit. So we started off with one guy.
Yeah, with one doctor who a lot of people recommended out here. It's at a birth center, which I was cool with going the birth center route. But that doctor, let's go back a little bit. So I found out we were pregnant, and then we went to the first doctor at like 5 weeks, 3 days. Like I told him, like, hey, this is super early, but we miscarried last time. Like, I just called you as soon as I found out we were pregnant. So he wasn't able to really see anything except the sac. So he told us to come back in 10 days. So then we went back to that doctor 10 days later. And at that point, we were 6 weeks in, I don't know, a couple days.
Yeah, so there was heartbeat and stuff I think we could see. And
Yep, we could hear the heartbeat.
he was like, everything's healthy. It's looking good. And we're like, okay, this is good. But still very scary because it's...
The baby was still okay at that point last time.
Yeah. So great news, but nothing that like reassured us. I mean, he did say everything was healthy. I don't know how that stuff works. Is it like up to the point where you're like, hey, your baby's 7 weeks, it's really healthy, and then the next day it's gone? Like, I don't know how that happens. So we didn't really know what to expect from them. We were just like, all right, fingers crossed. I don't think we told anybody at that point.
No, I don't even think. Did we even tell
I don't think we told parents until
your mom? Shelby and Anthony came out.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I don't know.
really stalled out there for me.
we didn't really like tell anyone for a while, even our parents.
And then
I think actually we were 7 weeks when we told our parents. So it was like a couple days after we went to the doctor and heard the heartbeat, and we're like, okay, well, I guess we can at least let them know. Because last time it was like 4 weeks we let our parents know, and this time it was 7 weeks. And so thinking about that doctor, he had good reviews, but he was just like, didn't know that much English. And I know they have a whole team of like midwives and doulas and stuff that speak English, so maybe I'll use one of those later on. But as far as the actual doctor, like he just kind of
wasn't like super personable, and maybe that's because he didn't speak great English, but like the bedside manner wasn't great, and there was just I feel like for sure a disconnect there where we're like,
It was just like a very dry like conversation. Like he did prescribe me progesterone, which was good. Like I voiced that I was scared of miscarrying, so he prescribed me that because I asked him about it. So at least, that was well. But anyway, so I started looking. I found another doctor that people recommended, and this is a doctor that's at a hospital, and they were both certified in like water births and like humanized births. So they tend to go the more natural route, which is kind of what I'm hoping to do, given this whole like, Playa is a very natural type of place to live, kind of boho. So the first doctor told us to come back in like 4 weeks.
mm-hmm.
And so we found the other doctor, and we actually went in 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So we were 8 weeks and 2 days, and we saw the new doctor at the hospital, and we were able to hear the heartbeat then too.
And that was better experience for sure. They said, again, everything was good. We're like, okay, we're like at that point just after the spot where we previously miscarried. Mm-hmm. This is good. This is good news. It gave us a little bit of peace of mind that everything was good. The heartbeat was as fast as it should be, and everything, he said everything was looking healthy. But then it was the next wait period where it's like, because do you remember, I know you probably don't know the percentages, but losing a baby at like 8, 9, even 10 weeks is much more likely than losing a baby at the 12-week mark.
Yeah. So once you hit 8 weeks and you hear a heartbeat, your chances go down. Like it's before 8 weeks, it's like honestly like almost 20%. Like they say like almost 1 in 4,
Eesh.
like 1 in 5 result in miscarriage. So if you can make it to the 8-week mark, then it really goes down to like 8 to 10%. Once you make it to 12 weeks, then it's like 0.5%. So
that was really what we were, crossing our fingers and holding our breath for. And that was the biggest stress. So we went in on Friday, and had our most recent appointment.
he did the neural translucency scan, which is like the 12-week scan. If any of you have baby mamas or wives or something, that's like where they check for downs and make sure that everything's developing okay. And you can see all the stuff inside the brain, all that.
Yep. So that all came back as good. Everything was clear. He said based off of what he saw, chances of downs was pretty low. And then the other things were much, much lower. Mm-hmm. So all positive stuff. Called some friends, let them know afterwards, like, hey, we're good. Contacted our parents. We're like, hey, we should be in a pretty safe zone right now.
Yep.
And that's when we decided, like, all right, tomorrow, because that was Friday, yesterday, we'll do our announcement and let everybody else know. So it's been a interesting process up to this point. But, we know that this type of stuff happens to a lot of people. Seems like everybody we talk to, for the most part, has had something similar like this happen to them. But now we get to go through the cool experience and process of going through a pregnancy and actually, doing this down here in Mexico and, just inform you guys on the stuff that we were going to talk about before when we first started this podcast the entire time.
And I've been feeling pretty good, actually.
Which was another huge concern for us.
I was like, oh God, here we go again.
I don't feel bad. I'm like,
I mean, I had like weeks 6 to 8, mostly 6 and 7. If I didn't eat I was constantly eating, because I never threw up. I never got real queasy, but I would just feel like a little nauseous if I didn't eat regularly. So, but that kind of went away at 7.5, 8 weeks. And I was like, oh God, just kind of tired. But besides that, I haven't had any crazy food aversions. The last couple of times I tried to eat pulled pork and regular chicken breasts, I think it was a no-go. I didn't like it.
Her nose has been on point as far as the
trash can.
Smelling stuff that stinks. I'm like, I don't smell anything. She's like,
yeah, one
like Nina over here just
particular.
Smelling things. I'm like,
and so the trash smelled so bad, I ran to the back of the house and Sean couldn't even smell it.
Yeah.
So I was like, get it out of here.
So there's been a few things. As far as, a couple little food aversions, I don't think you've really been craving anything too much. I think you've said a few little things, but...
Yeah, because I'm on mom groups now, of other... Oh, yeah, by the way...
There's some fucking wild people out there with, what's going on with their pregnancies.
Jesus Christ. For real. So, we didn't even say the due date's around January 6th, 7th, 8th.
Early January.
Yeah, early
If you have an early January birthday, reach out to us. Let us know, because I want to see what type of person you are. But we don't know the sex of the baby yet. Obviously, we're haven't done that blood test yet, but we should know. Or
he said,
let us know next time we go in.
Yeah, because I'll be about 16 weeks. He's like, we might be able to tell by then.
So a little niño or a little niña, I'm sure I'm gonna have him put it in an envelope, and then basically.
Well, we'll probably be able to see on the ultrasound.
Yeah, we'll be able to see. Just kidding.
I'll be like, write it down.
Yeah.
Don't
tell me. I just want to open an envelope and be surprised in my own home with. I want to be celebrated with Knuckles, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a girl or a boy, whatever.
Oh God, yeah. So speaking of that, it's funny because Brian FaceTimed me yesterday. He's like, I bet you want a boy first, and I was like, fuck yeah, I do. he was like, because you don't want a daughter like you. And I was like, fuck no, I don't.
See, you guys are all like, Amanda's such a great person. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Now,
She was a real problem.
awful. In my
But that was,
teens
teen
and
years.
early 20s.
That was teen years. So I want to talk about just like how this is going to change our life. And obviously, we are the traveling people. This is what we do. We've got Japan coming up here soon. We're going to be going to Denver in a couple weeks. We're actually going to Vegas in a couple weeks as well. But the whole idea with doing what we're doing was to raise global citizens. We want kids who
Love everybody.
yeah, are cool with, feel comfortable everywhere, who feel comfortable in, situations that other people may not be comfortable in, whether that be lower income type of situations where they're not showered with gifts and all the newest, coolest things, or in nicer situations where we travel places and you get really awesome treatment and things like that. So
yeah, and just being around people that look different than you and like not even thinking about it, just like treating everyone, being appreciative of the things that you do have because you see other situations,
And tan kids. We want tan kids. So traveling and being outside and doing a lot of stuff like that will make them tan.
Whilst we're traveling to cold places.
Yeah, which we've done.
Yep.
But the big question is, how are we going to be able to sustain this? How are we going to keep traveling with our children once we have them? And what is that going to look like? And I can tell you, yes, we definitely are, because we've been a lot of places and we've seen a lot of people traveling with their kids. And I think most other countries, just like our little post said, we've just got another carry-on now. We're just bringing somebody else along for the ride. Gonna get my little front strap and back strap baby carriers.
Yep.
And
Strap that
again,
baby on.
when
and
they're
let's
really
fucking
young,
go. It's easy to travel when
Yeah,
they're really young.
they
It's
don't
when
do
they
shit.
start flailing their body around
Yeah,
because they don't want to sit somewhere like.
but we're gonna make it happen. And it's all about growing up in that atmosphere, in that type of lifestyle, that they'll just know, like, this is what we do. This is what life is. And we're going to make it happen. So if you thought in any way that we were going to not be extremely adventurous once we had a kid, you're fucking wrong.
That's a little scary, but we'll make it work.
The adventure has only just begun.
Yep.
It's only just begun.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, with that being said, we could go into highs and lows, because our high is obviously that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll play the drop real quick, just to get it for you guys, because I like this drop. And I can sing high like this. And I can sing high. All right, so first we'll start with lows. What did I even write down for my low? I have nothing. Well, my low is, I didn't even write down a low. Couple things for my highs. One, my tattoo is coming along very nicely.
Oh, yes, it is.
So I'm excited about that.
You had your fourth appointment yesterday.
Fourth appointment yesterday. Should probably have one more and I'll be finished up. So that's good. But the real high is obviously that I'm going to be a father. Now, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but I don't know if I can say my entire life I've known I wanted to be a father, but I can tell you for a long time I have. And I don't know what it is. Maybe I've always gotten along with kids really well. Kids have always really loved me. I'm a very large person, and maybe they're just like, look at this big-ass fucking kid. That's probably what they thought in their heads. But I've always been great with kids. And I just love kids, and I love the sense of wonder and not worried about other people or other things in life, just enjoying being a kid.
Pure-hearted.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I had a great dad growing up. There were some things that maybe he did that I didn't like so much, but that's every parent. No parent is perfect. But I'm taking all of the things that he taught me and trying to add the things that I maybe think I've learned along the way into parenting our child and children. And man, I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard. But I just think that this was exactly what I was born to do. And I just can't wait to have a fucking kid. Whether it's a boy, whether it's a girl, really doesn't matter. But to have somebody that just counts on you and relies on you and looks up to you and that you can just mold. Because let's be honest, guys, there's a lot of shit people out there.
Yeah, there is.
A lot of people who weren't raised the right way, and that affects the world in a lot of different ways negatively. I'm just looking forward to raising a person that has a positive impact on society. And, you know, I see how awesome my sister is and how good my parents did with her and just all of the things that are going to come. I see how much fun I have with my parents now. Mm-hmm. Just all of the things that you're going to get to enjoy through the next 40, 50, 60 years. See how long I live.
Yeah. God, you'll be 90.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But your grandpa's 90 and he's still doing cool shit
sure
with his
is.
daughter.
Yep, that's
So,
true.
You know, it's just, I know it goes really quickly, but I could not express to you how excited I am to get the opportunity to put everything I have into another person. 2 people, hopefully. Not at the same time, so we're not having twins, but still very excited. So you haven't seen it now. I'm not crying right now.
I'm going to cry. My eyes are watering up
I'm not
right
crying
now.
right now, but man, I have because
God,
I am fucking stoked.
I picked the best partner.
Thanks, baby. I did as well.
I love you.
I love you too.
Over here wiping my eyes away. God, way to go. Thanks, babe.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I know it's going to be very challenging, but I need a challenge like that in my life because you don't fucking challenge me, you dumb bitch.
I'm just too easy.
I need something hard. So I think this will be it. This will be a incredible next chapter of our life in a book that is going to be full of a lot of incredible chapters.
Yep, hopefully incredible and not crazy, but
yeah, I mean, let's just hope, fingers crossed, I don't get a Ted Bundy. But even if I do, I love you, man. I love you. Just don't kill me or your mom or anybody in our family.
No. Jesus Christ.
Or if you kill bad people.
Okay, be
that'd
Batman.
Be pretty cool. Yeah.
Be Batman.
Batman actually doesn't kill anybody. That's kind of why he's a bitch. You gotta kill people. Come on. Let's be honest. Like Deadpool, come on. Way cooler. He's actually killing people. Bad guys.
True.
All right, go ahead. What's your high and low?
Gosh, low. I don't know. A couple people set me up for appointments this week. That was, I think, really my low, but it was not a big deal. It's just part of the game. But
it's a long game.
Long game. I haven't been discouraged literally at all. So I feel like that's pretty good. It's a little annoying, obviously, but you know, it's all a circle.
Yep, it's the name of the game.
Yeah, but highs, we got a couple people on our team.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, that will start to benefit here in these upcoming months. Obviously, I think about now what it's going to look like in January, February, March.
Yeah, when we have to step away a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So those are just all kind of things I've been thinking about. But
a lot of time to build until then.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, just beyond, like, I'm terrified, but so excited. And literally, I would not do this with anyone else. Like, you are the perfect person. I can't wait to have a half of you. Like, there's no one else I would want to parent. Even if you left me, I know you would still be a good dad, you know, like.
Jesus Christ.
I know, obviously, the goal is, you know,
I wouldn't be a good dad if I left you. I would cut ties with everything. No,
but I know, you know, if anything ever happens to me, like, you are the best possible person to be a father to our children, and just very happy. Just very happy.
Thanks,
regardless of the feelings I feel inside about myself.
You're gonna be an incredible mom. You'll be all right with the pregnancy, and you'll be good with having the baby. And I don't think you need to worry. I know that you're a very tough individual.
I have had Actually, I got a little emotional yesterday reading a bunch of the comments because I've had a bunch of people just reach out to me and just say, like, you are going to be the best mom.
Yeah.
And it's even coming from, I mean, people that, okay, maybe I don't talk to all the time, but even like just to make that kind of a comment to someone, like, don't think you would just say that like out of your ass.
Yeah. I mean, because
know?
you get a lot of the just like congratulations things.
But like
which is
I've had
cool.
like direct messages of like, I am so beyond excited. You are going to be the best mom. And like that stuff like really gets me going emotionally, obviously. And plus I'm pregnant. So of course my emotions luckily they've been pretty mild, but sometimes I do cry. So.
And you are. I really think you are going to be an incredible mom. One, as you already know, you're so much like my mom.
Yes.
I'm sure there's aspects of your mom that you share a lot of similarities with.
Yeah, I see that too.
But just, two great moms that have poured a lot into us. And
you take the things that, like you said, the things that you like and that you want to continue, and then you learn from the things that maybe you would do differently. And that's literally all different generations do. Everyone does that. They take their previous experiences, mix them with their own, and then you exert those into the universe. And, I really think that we got a good thing going here.
I do too. We will see what happens.
I'm just going to bawl my eyes out after this episode.
But it is, it's just so exciting to think about. And I know some people aren't meant to be parents, but those people are not us. So for all of you that sent, congratulations and, nice messages and stuff, and who have listened to the podcast and heard our struggles and related with them, maybe you've had similar struggles and everything, we really appreciate it. Really do. There's been a lot of nice people out there that have said some really nice things and just, told us how incredible of people we are and, how amazing parents I think will be. So we know we got a lot of support.
And how cool the baby's going to be because they're going to travel.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about coolness. I'm 6'4". Amanda's pretty damn attractive. Our kid should be pretty cool as far as like world traveler, kind of guy. He's probably gonna have tattoos, or she's probably gonna have tattoos like right out of the womb.
Probably gonna have blue or green eyes.
If you don't think I'm gonna put the little baby tattoos on him, you're wrong. You're wrong, because I am. Probably a little chest piece. But just so excited. So let's move on.
Okay.
We'll have now, I'm telling you guys, if you're listening, now is where the podcast starts to get interesting, because we'll talk about, if you tuned in for the parenting stuff and not just the hoopla and the
I mean, Mexico's cool, but,
Yeah.
This is what we're aiming for the podcast to be. So now it's our time
Exactly.
to really embrace it.
So I've been reading, Amanda finished up the Baby Wise book that she was reading, and so I'm probably going to start reading that, but I've been reading the Raising Good Humans book and getting some interesting stuff out of this. And for the most part, the lady really talks about just patience and being present as a parent, not being overwhelmed by your child's emotions.
Which will be hard for sure.
Yeah, because everybody knows managing your own emotions is a fucking roller coaster, but being able to manage the emotions of somebody that doesn't even speak English most of the times is probably a lot harder. And it's just something that I'm looking forward to taking on that challenge and really working with myself on how to be just more patient and present and calm in these type of stressful situations, because I'm sure a lot of them will be extremely stressful, and your kid will be doing wild things, and just, you'll be trying to communicate with them and they don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, they don't even know what they're feeling half the time.
Yeah. So just being able to like center myself and just stay calm and really just continuously think, this person has no idea what's going on.
And they're going to learn from your example too. They're going to learn their reactions from watching how you react. Like, oh, we're supposed to just get pissed and flip tables. Like,
yes, that's what. And they'll see how we react and interact with each other, which I think, will be a good thing, because we're very mild mannered and, well behaved around each other. There's no outbursts of crazy emotions, which hopefully they'll learn that type of stuff. But just, yeah, patience. I think I don't have a lot of patience in a lot of aspects of life, but I do think I'll be able to hone in and be extremely patient with this type of thing up until a point where they start, like I just posted that grabbing the armpit hair video on Instagram the other day, and that's why I don't have long armpit hair. And it's gross, but also, good Lord, that
would hurt so
that guy
bad.
was handling that like a champ.
Yeah, his facial expression didn't even.
Oh, it's like somebody running a lawnmower in our house.
Oh wow, that's
Nope,
a
just
very loud motorbike.
Yeah, it's probably a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Anything from your Baby Wise book that you want to touch on real quick? Just a minute or two?
Yeah, so the book started to get really interesting like halfway through and through the end. So a lot of their thing was just about routine and just how keeping a good routine is going to be really good for your baby. It gave very specific like feeding routines on like when to drop the middle of the night feeding and like what to do if your baby starts crying, like are they waking up because they're hungry. Like it gave a bunch of list of like, okay, if your baby is crying, here's a list of things to troubleshoot, and then you're going to figure out if it's just restlessness and boredom or if it's a need. And it was a really good starting point, I think, because it was focused on like the infancy, like, hey, here's a checklist of what to do the first 3 days after you bring the baby home. Here's what you should look out. Here are the different colors of poops and when to expect them and how many times a day to expect it. Like, it was very detailed, and those are things that I thrive off of. Like, lists.
I know a lot of people don't. They're like, we don't read any books.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm probably going to read them all again when I'm 8 months
get that, but I
pregnant.
think this stuff can be so helpful because I just know it's not like this person is telling you this is how you parent. They're just like, hey, this type of shit happens. Like, this happens, this is how, like, I like to see that situational stuff. That's why I'm not the type of person to travel someplace and not prepare anything.
Yeah, you
Because
need to learn
I
about the
wanna
customs
know
and, like,
what to expect.
Exactly.
Not saying that will happen, but that's why people read, to better educate yourself and better be prepared for life in general.
Yeah.
And
I also think, like, being away from family, I don't think you can over-prepare. I think, it's not like we have someone where we can just call over and be like, hey, look at this. Do I need to take the kid to the hospital? Like, we're going to have to self-do all this stuff, on our own. So I think that, I know.
That's a little helicopter parent coming in here. I see a little helicopter. We'll see. I know that's got to be a super hard thing to not do at the very beginning, because that little person you do everything. So being helicopter parent is vital at the beginning.
No, I don't think you can helicopter parent an infant.
No, you can't. Definitely not an infant.
Yeah.
I'm saying, even in those very early stages. An infant is what, up until 1? Are you an infant past 1?
I mean, I think once you start walking, then you become I think toddlers 2. I think you're still a baby until 2. I don't think you can be,
You're like, what? You can't get your own shit out of the fridge?
like, I don't think you can. I think it's just called being there. Like, I don't think it's helicopter until you start, like, they're playing in the next room and you can't leave the room because you got to see what they're doing at all times.
True.
Like,
what age do you guys think helicopter parenting starts? Obviously, it cannot start as they're a baby because they can't do anything for themselves.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's got to be an age. Anyways,
yeah.
I apologize for interrupting.
No, it's okay. But the book was very helpful. It talked about the different kinds of breast milk and when they come into your body and the different sucking sounds the baby make, and that determines if they're getting which type of breast milk and which one's more nutritious for the baby and how long to feed the baby.
You have multiple types of breast milk in your body?
Apparently.
Wow.
There's the forefront, and then there's the nutritional ones come out a couple minutes in. And then it tells you how often you need to either feed or pump, because if you don't, you're going to lose your supply. The book was really fascinating. I hated the first 50 pages, but after that it got to the facts and I was like, okay, game on.
Like a 6-disc CD changer up in your chest over there. That's pretty cool. They're like, wait, where's the one for the husband? Oh, there it is.
Oh, God. No. Unless they get clogged, then you can help. Maybe.
What were we listening to? That was...
A stand-up?
No, but it was the comedians that were talking about it. Remember the podcast that we listened to that The
Talking about where the nipple got.
yeah, with his wife, and he had to like.
Yeah, that was a stand-up.
It wasn't a stand-up. It was a comic that was doing the podcast, the parenting podcast that
Oh,
we like.
I think I've seen different clips. I don't know.
Anyways,
Yeah.
let's discuss. So that was a little bit in the news, but let's discuss our Ask the Listeners. It's time to ask the listeners, and you know what? Because I didn't get to use in the news, and I love that drop.
That was for
From
me.
the entire Channel 4 News team,
That was.
I'm
I didn't use
Veronica
it.
Corningstone.
And I'm Ron Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San
Florida.
Diego.
Still not liking Florida. All right. Well, it is time to ask the listeners. We already did What's in the News. That was with Amanda.
Oh, I didn't get my what's in the news.
Oh, that's for What's in the News? Bam, we got What's in the News right now. Amanda, take it away. It's all you.
So, sorry, I'm very passionate about this topic right here. So I'm listening to the pregnancy podcast, and she's kind of gave me some nuggets that have spurred some other research into some of the previous topics that I have talked about in the news. But this one, so I'm just going to kind of do a high level overview, and then like maybe next week or the week after, I'm going to really dive into it because I feel like I didn't want this to be a super long podcast. But so speaking of kind of like stress when you're pregnant, it can affect your child's development and have repercussions on them later on in life. So I think having like a lot of people say like, oh, don't stress out. Like obviously first trimester, everyone's stressed out because you don't know if the baby's going to be viable or not. But basically there's 3 types of stress. There's severe, which is trauma. There's moderate, which are from like significant life events, like losing a job, losing someone you care about, or domestic violence, things like that. And then there's mild stress, which is daily hassles, just kind of everyday stressors. But they all can have negative influences on pregnancy outcomes and behavioral and physiological developments of the baby, both directly and indirectly. Severe stress, which would be the traumas, they have the greatest impact when they occur around conception and very, very early on in pregnancy. You can have a baby that has higher risk of heart defects, neural tube defects, cleft lip, shorter gestations, which is less than 37 weeks. And it can also lead to miscarriage if you are very heavily stressed around conception. May or may not be why we miscarried. Less severe stress, so this would be like moderate stress, which could be either perceived stress or pregnancy-specific stress, like over-worrying about the pregnancy in general. It can lead to a lower birth weight, which is considered 5.5 pounds or less. I was born 4 pounds, 4 ounces, so I definitely was a low birth weight baby. But they say low birth weight of any cause can actually lead to behavioral and physiological lower functions, and babies born of a lower birth weight have higher risks of asthma and allergies and higher diagnosis of diabetes and ADD, ADHD.
Jeez.
And then like indirect causes of stress would be like if your mom had a terrible pregnancy and then you kind of like unconsciously take it out on the baby after they're born, like, not caring for the baby the way that you should, like postpartum depression, things like that. So I really want to get more. There's so much information on how stress can affect pregnancy, but this is something that I really want to learn a lot about. And I think that being here in Mexico is both more stressful and less stressful. So I think, just kind of thinking about things and how they affect your life and just kind of like the daily things that you go through. I think that I feel way less stressed. I feel like even this job, I'm way less stressed. And who doesn't like the fucking beach? Am I right?
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, so this is just a topic I want to learn more about, and I'll share more information with you guys as I learn more about them, because there's so much information and studies on animals and people on how stress can affect pregnancy and how those babies perform in adulthood. So I will dive in to that with you guys.
God, yeah, just stress in life in general is a real bitch. So I can imagine the effects that it has on
It's
your
like chemicals being
yeah,
released in your body
on your-
that, yeah.
that can affect the baby. And yikes.
Yeah. So I'll share all those juicy deets later.
If you thought you were going to come here and not get anything, not learn anything,
I'm
you
the
were wrong.
logical fact checker here. This is what I live for.
Also, you're going to learn a lot about the 90s because there's some great trivia here. But before we get into the trivia, let's do Ask the Listeners.
Ask the listeners.
Oh, that's going to be good. Oh, that's going to be good.
So, our Ask the Listeners question for today, and I posted it this morning, so weren't able to get a ton of responses in, so this will be a fairly short one. But the question, in a nutshell, was basically, how do you handle your child when they're crying and upset, or, you know, when they're when they have a temper, or, you know, they're being a little asshole, something like that. Because, again, in my book, I was reading, like, handling things with patience, meeting them on their level, like, trying to get them to talk through their emotions, stuff like that. So, some of the different answers that I got, Kat sent a nice long message in. She said, these are 2 different questions.
Oh.
How I handle whining is we don't whine. She said, whining won't get you what you want. Talking through alternative solutions that will help them get what they want. I'm a stickler on whining and throwing fits. If you act like a brat, I absolutely am less likely to give anyone what they want, regardless of who it is. Talking through it is always a way better approach than coming to me whining, stomping your feet.
Solid.
When they are frustrated and or crying, how I handle it now is identifying and validating those feelings, reassuring them it's okay to have those feelings, let them know they're not alone, sitting with them in the discomfort so they can learn to regulate them, and relate a similar experience if relevant. Mostly listen and ask questions. Sometimes they just need to get it off of their chest and feel seen.
Nice.
I think that's very important.
I can fuck with that for sure.
Yeah. Whining, quit fucking whining. Like, there's everybody that's a parent, even people that aren't parents, know what's whining and what's, like, crying.
Legit, yeah. Anger.
So we don't do whining. Fucking gather yourself. Let's talk. Or if you can't talk very well, then let's just have little conversations. I don't know what you do with a 3 or 4 year old. It's just like, hey, deep breathing. It's okay. Let's talk about it.
Those are the worst tantrums, 3 and 4.
So this girl said, I held mine when they cried. Sometimes they need a cry session by themselves in their bedroom too, which is 100% true. Sometimes you just gotta fucking cry. And it does make you feel a whole lot better.
Yeah. And there's definitely instances where I remember, like, I needed to cry by myself, and there's other times where I would just sit curled up with my mom and cry.
Yeah.
And they both have their place.
Yep. You're like, you know what? I'm kind of frustrated with you. I don't want to cry on your shoulder.
Yeah.
I want to go cry in my room. Said guiding their little mind off of what's upsetting them with something else has helped. Focusing on what's upsetting them too, and helping them cope with that feeling they are feeling, and guiding them through how to handle it. And then we've got here empathy, validation, love. No matter what it is, you've got this. Goes a long way. And my sister said, if it's in a crowded place, I take them somewhere quiet, pick them up, hold them, and talk to them softly. So, again, how do you handle your child whining, or when they're actually having, like, a difficult time with something and they're crying and they're upset? I think a lot of that is getting down, like you said, on their level, communicating with them, having that eye contact, calm, collective talking, just like, hey, what's wrong? Explain to me, why are you upset? Mm-hmm. And granted, they may not know why they're upset, but the more you can guide them through those type of conversations, the better they'll learn how how to express those emotions and talk to you when the time comes that they can actually talk to you and express their emotions. And they'll know, like, hey, I can come to this person when I'm upset, and they're not going to fucking blow their lid on me.
I think I remember a tantrum that I had in elementary school. I have to ask my mom on this, but I'm pretty sure I had strep throat and I wasn't allowed to go to the sock hop, and I threw.
Gotta want to go to sock hop.
And I threw the biggest fit. I think because like the way that my bedroom door opened, like the door opened and there was a little like bump out from where the closet was, so I used to sit against that wall and put my feet against the door so no one could come inside. I think that was like, I remember that tantrum.
Wow.
I was pissed. I used to get strep throat once a year. Like, it was like, I knew it was gonna happen at some point, but it fell over some cop, and I was so
devastated. Devastated. Which, tight parent move, not letting you go. Nobody wants to get strep from the asshole that has strep. So you would have been that person getting everybody sick.
I think I bit my stepdad too.
Biting. Jesus.
I think that was the only time I ever bit, but I bit him, and I felt awful. I don't even think I've ever brought that story up. It's like in the back of my mind of things I'm embarrassed about. I'm sorry, Dad.
Well, don't bite your parents, kids. I think it's time to wrap this bad boy up with a little bit of... Nope. Yes. It's time for I Love the 90s. So on last week's I Love the 90s, we ran through these questions with Kat, and I think she did pretty good. I think you guys both kind of did fairly well. I know you got the Tiger Woods question wrong. But for the most part, you guys crushed it. So, now it's just back to you. And I think we're going to have some problems here. So we'll start you out with an easy first win here.
Don't say it's easy.
An easy win.
Okay.
And this is maybe more opinion than it is fact. But what was the best channel on TV to watch all the best cartoons while growing up in the 90s? There's really only one answer.
Well, I'm going to say it was Cartoon Network, and you're going to say Nickelodeon.
That is correct. It is Nickelodeon. Good job. Cartoons on Cartoon Network. I'm not going to lie. But
I feel like Nickelodeon
let's take a look here.
Came like
Rugrats.
when I
Hey Arnold. Rocket Power.
I really liked
Recess
Bugs
was on
Bunny
Disney.
and all that stuff.
That's because she's 48 years old.
Exactly.
So Bugs Bunny was around when,
Animaniacs,
Maniacs.
Pinky and the Brain,
Pinky and the Brain was good.
Dexter's Laboratory,
Dexter's Laboratory was good. I think, they could compete, but Nickelodeon was better. Fucking Recess, man, what Recess says was Disney, but Disney Channel. Who fucking knows? Nickelodeon was the best. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Even though you have a dumb opinion. All right, question number 2. This one is going to be early 2000s, but it screams 90s to me.
Okay.
When did the Razor flip phone come out?
Ooh.
Classic Razor flip phone.
I'm going to say
Motorola Razor flip phone.
what grade?
3 seconds.
2002.
Close. It's 2004.
Really?
Yes. Did you have a Razor flip phone
I
at
did
any
not.
point? No.
I did not.
I remember my sister had one, and then she gave it to me.
It was pink.
Hot pink. Like hot metallic pink.
2004. So
Still
I was
cool, though.
just starting high school then.
Pretty crazy, right?
That was when the Sidekick came out, right?
I think they came out like the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Sidekick, classic. Cool phone. Yeah. All right. Next question. What year did McDonald's begin allowing customers to supersize their meals? Just can say they're like, hey, this medium fry is 500 calories. The supersized fry?
98.
92.
Damn. Wow.
For an extra bonus point.
I was only 3.
When did they stop allowing people to supersize their meals?
2007.
2004.
Dang, man, I'm not doing good.
For 12 years.
I used to have those little McDonald's dollars booklets at my dad's because we always used to stop at McDonald's.
Dude, I mean, McDonald's is great. It's so good, but
So bad. For you.
yeah, it's so not good.
The
But also,
fries smack though.
supersize was
Awful.
not the deal for Americans. Like, really, you guys fucked people with that one.
It just threw portion sizes all out of whack. Everyone's like, "What do you mean? I
So,
got
like-
this regular small fry."
I got a 32-ounce soda, and you're saying for 7 cents more, I can make it 862 ounces? Of course. You guys have incredible Coca-Cola.
All that sugar.
And then, yeah, you just literally ate 4 weeks worth of sugar in your drink. And the fries, although fantastic, you went from a medium to like 3 times a medium.
Yeah.
And you know you're smashing all those because they're so salty you
Oh,
can't put them down.
Exactly.
And with that Coke, it's fantastic. And if you were dipping them in the ice cream, I mean, you're really just setting yourself up for failure. So I didn't think you were going to get that one. That's a pretty tough year. 92, though. The year I was born, they were like, we're supersizing shit this year. 12 years later, they're like, big mistake.
We
Sorry,
take it.
everybody.
Take backsies.
We have salads now, which also have 700 calories in them. All right.
Yes.
Final question. What are you at here?
One.
All right.
1 of 3 so far.
You might get this one, possibly. Last and final question. The 6th season of this show aired in 1993, starring Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, and Ryan Gosling.
I have no idea. Something on Nickelodeon?
The Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh, wow. Really?
I never watched the Mickey Mouse Club.
I never watched it either.
But what a lineup.
Damn.
I mean, some real hotties here. You
Yeah.
got Justin, Christina,
Jeez.
Brittany, and Ryan. Really, Ryan? How are you the only one that was not a singer, Ryan? You probably got pipes.
You probably can,
You
yeah.
probably fucking can sing.
Wow.
Yeah, what a lineup. Bunch of cute little white kids. So successful. Anyways. That is it, folks.
Those are good. I had no idea.
Yeah. Again, thought you were going to come on here and not learn something.
Yeah.
Supersize me. 92.
Multifaceted.
It's all about parenting and winning in life. For some people, it's about losing at trivia. But next week, we'll have another guest. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, thanks so much for all the support.
Feel the love.
and,
Feel the love.
Yeah, congratulations. So, it's been real. It's been fun, as always. I love you.
I love you.
We're
The
gonna be
baby
fucking
loves
parents.
you, and I have to pee
Of course you do.
because I'm pregnant now.
Happy Monday
what?
the 26th when you're listening to this,
I'm like
folks.
last week of June. I don't know.
Happy last week of June. Much love, everybody. Peace.